welcome to my podcast. Today I will be discussing a very important topic in organizational behavior, which is decision-making bias in organization. Every day, organizations make decisions that affect employees, customers, and the overall success of the business. Managers decide who gets promoted, which project receive funding, how resources are allocated, and what strategy should be implemented. Ideally, the decision should be based on fact, data, and a logical reason. However, in reality, human beings are not completely objective. Our thought and judgment are often influenced by personal experience, emotion, assumption, and mental shortcuts. This influence can lead to what we call decision making. Decision making bias refers to a systematic error in thinking that affects judgment and decision making. Biases can cause managers and employees to make choices that are unfair, ineffective, or even harmful to organization performance. Understanding decision making is important because it helps organizations improve fairness, increase productivity, reduce costly mistakes, and create better working environments. In this podcast, I will explain several common decision making biases, discuss how they affect organizations, present a workplace scenario, analyze the situation, and conclude with recommendation for reducing bias in organization decision. So, before discussing specific type of biases, it is important to understand why bias occur. Human brains process a huge amount of information every day. To save time and energy, our brain often use shortcuts known as heuristics. While the shortcuts help us making good decisions, they can sometimes lead to error in judgment. These errors are known as cognitive biases. In organization, cognitive biases can influence recruitment decision, employee evaluation, strategic planning, problem solving, and leadership decision. Let us look at some common examples. The first and perhaps most common bias is confirmation bias. Confirmation bias occurs when people see, interpret, and remember information that supports their existing belief while ignoring the information that contradicts them. For example, imagine a manager believes that one employee is highly capable because of this belief. The manager pays more attention to the employee's successes while overlooking mistakes. On the other hand, if the manager believes another employee is less competent, the manager may focus more on that employee's error and ignore positive achievement. As a result, evaluation becomes unfair and inaccurate. Confirmation bias can reduce organizational effectiveness because decisions are based on assumptions rather than objective evidence. The second bias is occurring bias. Occurring bias occurs when people rely too heavily on the first piece of information they receive. For example, during a job interview, a candidate may make mistake a strong first impression. Because of that positive first impression, the interviewer may continue viewing the candidate favorable even if later information suggests weakness. Similarly, when discussing project budget, decision making may become attachment to an initial estimate and fail to adjust their judgment when new information becomes available. Occurring bias can prevent organizations from adapting to changing circumstances and can lead to poor decision making. The third bias is availability bias. Availability bias occurs when people judge situations based on the information that is easily remembered rather than information that is most accurate. For example, if a company recently experienced a cybersecurity attack, manager may become overly concerned about cyber threats and allocate excessive resources to security while neglected other important areas. This happened because the recent event is more memorable and emotionally impactful. This happened because the recent event is more memorable and emotionally impactful. Okay. Availability bias can distort, prioritize, and lead organization to focus on the wrong issue. Okay, so the fourth. Another common bias is overconfident bias. Okay, overconfident bias occurs when individuals overestimate their knowledge, ability, or chance of success. Managers who are overconfident may believe they always make correct decisions and therefore ignore feedback from employees or experts. For example, a company leader may launch a new product without conducting proper market research before because they are convinced that product will success. If the decision turns out to be wrong, the organization may suffer financial losses. Overconfident bias can increase organizational risk and reduce learning opportunity. The final bias I would like to discuss is groupthink. Groupthink occurs when members of a group prioritize arrangement and harmony over critical thinking. In meeting, employees may hesitate to express different opinion because they fear conflict or criticism. As a result, poor decision may go unchallenged. Groupthink often occurs in organizations with strong hierarchies where employees feel uncomfortable questioning authority. This can limit creativity, innovation, and effective problem solving. Now, let us consider a workplace scenario that demonstrates how decision-making bias can influence organizational outcome. Imagine a company is looking to promote one employee to become a team leader. There are two candidates. The first candidate, Sarah, is confident, outgoing, and known for delivering excellent presentation. The second candidate, Jason, consistently achieve high performance results, support teams member, and has strong technical expertise. During the promotion discussion, Sarah received a lot of attention because managers remember her impressive presentation. The managers quickly form a positive opinion of her. As the discussion continues, they focus on examples that support their initial impression while paying less attention to information about Jason's strong performance. One manager recalled a recent successful presentation by Sarah, emphasized it repeatedly, while Jason's contribution received less discussion because they are not as visible or memorable. Eventually, Sarah is selected for the promotion. However, after several months, problems begin to emerge. Sarah struggles with team management, employees development, and conflict resolution. Team morale declines and productivity decreases. Management then realized that the promotion decision may not have been based on a complete and objective evaluation. So let us analyze what happened in this scenario. First, we can identify a coaching bias. The manager was strongly influenced by Sarah's first impression and presentation skill. This initial information became the anchor that shaped their later judgment. Second, confirmation bias was present. Once managers believed Sarah was the best candidate, they found once managers believed Sarah was the best candidate, they focused on evidence supporting that belief while ignoring evidence that favored Jason. Third, availability bias affect the decision. Managers easily remember Sarah's presentation because they were recent and visible. Jason's achievements, although important, were less memorable. As a result, the decision was influenced by what was easiest to recall rather than by a comprehensive assessment of leadership potential. The consequences of these biases were significant. The organization selected a leader who was not fully prepared for the role, employee morale decreased, productivity suffered, and management had to spend additional time to resources addressing the problem. This example demonstrates how bias can lead to poor organizational outcome, even when decision makers have good intention. To reduce this bias, organizations should establish clear evaluation criteria, use objective performance measures, encourage diverse perspective, and require evidence-based decision making. Organizations can also provide training programs that help employees and managers recognize common cognitive bias. In conclusion, decision-making bias is a common challenge in organizations. Although managers and employees strive to make rational decisions, cognitive bias can influence judgment in ways that are often unconscious. Today, I discussed several common bias, including confirmation bias, coaching bias, availability bias, overconfident bias, and groupthink. These biases can affect recruitment, promotion decision, strategy planning, and overall organizational performance. Through the workplace scenario, we saw how multiple biases can influence a promotion decision and create negative consequences for both employees and organization. The good news is that biases can reduce through awareness, structured decision-making process, objective evaluation method, and open communication. By recognizing and addressing decision-making bias, organization can improve fairness, increase effectiveness, and make better decisions that contribute to long-term success. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope this discussion has helped you better understand decision-making bias in organization and why it is an important issue in today's workplace. Have a great day and thank you once again.